What's up, Turtle Riders? Welcome to Uncle Turtle Boy's Late Night Garage Podcast. This episode, as always, is brought to you by our good friends over at Garage Doors Plus in Quincy. All right, Garage Doors Plus in Quincy has been doing business since the beginning of time. All right, they're all over the North Shore, the South Shore, Eastern Mass, Western Mass, Central Mass, Connecticut, Rhode Island. They'll pretty much go anywhere except for Vermont because everyone hates Vermont. So, if you're looking for a quality garage door opener, right, if you got one of those old ones like Barney Rubble, you come home, you open it up like a moron. Time to get with the times, folks. All right, call up our good friend Chris over at Garage Doors Plus. You can find them at gdplus.com. They'll come over that day, give you a fair price, right? It's going to blow your socks off, right? You're going to hire them probably that day. They'll fix it that day. You get a nice little button you can press in your car. It opens the door like magic. Boom, it's awesome. All right, Garage Doors Plus in Quincy. Support the Turtle Boy advertisers. All right, I'm going to be sharing this right now. All right, we live. Let people know because I'm surprised we only have like 1,750 subscribers on here. I feel like people are a little late to the party, right? With YouTube, I don't know. Maybe we just got to get people acclimated to it because they're so, like, you know, trained to only go to Facebook every day. But there's a whole world outside of Facebook, believe it or not. And YouTube is one of those places. So feel free, guys, to let people know, share it, all right? Let people know that this is where we are at now. What the hell's going on here at GarageBand? Come on. All right, so that's shitted out there. All right. So let's look at the audience then. How are we doing over here? All right, so what's up, people? Looks like we got a good crowd developing, as always. We got a lot of things to talk about. First thing I want to talk about, I see some people talking, commenting on here, is the Jussie Smollett thing, right? Jussie Smollett thing. There's been a couple developments in the last couple hours, right? So if you've been living in a hole, about 2 weeks ago, a guy that no one's ever heard of before named Jussie Smollett on a television show that no one's ever seen before called Empire. He happened to be a gay black man walking around the streets of Chicago at 2 in the morning during the coldest day they've had in Chicago since the Ice Age. And he got jumped by two people who yelled, "This is MAGA country," in an area of Chicago that is probably 95% of the people voted for Hillary Clinton last time. So it's certainly not MAGA country. Not only did they kick his ass, they put a noose around his neck, which was on him when the Chicago police got to his house over an hour later because he waited 40 minutes to call the cops. 40 minutes. And he got there, and, you know, when the police did, and he didn't initially want to hand over his phone. He said that his manager was on the phone with him while they jumped him. And by the way, he still had his Subway sandwich in his hand when he went home. That is like a heavily, you know, secured area or monitored area. Every city is. They're going to have cameras everywhere. There's only like a 30-second window when he could have gotten jumped. But yet, after that 30-second window, he still had his sandwich. So that must have been one hell of a sandwich, folks. That's all I got to say. Must have been the greatest sandwich ever. So, I'll tell you one thing. There isn't a single Chicago police officer that actually believes this happened. Not one. Right? Because police aren't stupid. Police are really good at sniffing out bullshit. But they also got to be PC, because this is Chicago. A police officer was just sentenced to prison for killing a kid named Laquan McDonald a couple years ago, right? Any city's going to be like that. Race relations are bad, whatever, between the police and Black Lives Matter, and you know how that works. So anyway, the police are in a position where they can't, like, call this guy a liar, even though they are. You telling me they don't think he's a liar? Give me a break. Of course they think he's a liar. None of this story makes sense. It's like a fairy tale. Like, it was the most unbelievable story I've ever heard. Like two MAGA supporters are just waiting in a freaking Ice Age to kick this guy's ass that no one's ever heard of before. Give me a freaking break. So, anyway, of course he lied. Well, a report came out today. Right? I want to go to this report on Twitter because, as you know, we're banned from Twitter, but we can still go on there and we just can't follow anyone. So, come on, guys. Stop messaging Clarence during the show, folks. All right, so let's go to search for Jussie Smollett and see what comes up. So, as you can see here, a lot of stuff. conflicting reports. It first came out, right, that, where's the reporter? What the hell is this guy's name? There was a reporter out there from Chicago. There he is, Rob Elgus. So, ABC Chicago, which is obviously not a right-wing media outlet, has reported, or initially reported, that they earlier in the day they said that they had two people that were seen on this grainy video camera that were people they wanted to talk to about this, right? Well, they said they identified these people. And there was rumors that they were suspects, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, maybe this was real. It turns out that the two guys are Nigerian, and they were extras on freaking Empire. And the police, it's been reported by ABC News, believe that, let me see if I can find this here. Multiple sources tell Eyewitness News that Jussie Smollett and the two men are being questioned by police stage attack allegedly because his character was being written off of the show Empire. Someone familiar with the investigation said he was a no-show for an interview earlier today with detectives, all just coming hours after he spoke to Good Morning America. He went on Good Morning America and cried today and was like, yo, this is a hate crime. I'm like wicked, sad and shit from this hate crime. I'm like, so they were like, really? They had masks on? Okay. Keep in mind, this guy's an actor. This is what he does for a living, right? And he's also a radical leftist. Radical. Like, he called Trump the N-word multiple times on his Twitter account. Like, of course this guy's got a fucking agenda. Of course he wants to perpetuate the myth, right, that hate crimes are on the rise due to President Trump, right? Like, that him, this intersectional guy who is black and gay, right? Of course he's going to be a target of these MAGA hate mobs. It's just such a lie, people. It's such a lie. And all the left is doing these days is just further driving people towards Trump, and I love it, man. I love it, right? You got this kooky broad in Congress, a bunch of them. You got the Ilhan Omar, who every fucking day says something crazier. Last week she was saying that transgender powerlifters should have access to women's gymnastics, women's powerlifting, even though they're men, right? Then she said that, like, you know, she said something blatantly anti-Semitic the other day about, like, all about the Benjamins, talking about the Jews in Israel and shit like that. And every fucking day, it's these people, and then they don't apologize, right? There's no repercussions, nothing. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez today is all happy because, why is she happy? Fucking Amazon said, let's get the fuck out of here to New York City, right? See, every city offered Amazon a tax break to try to lure them in there, right? So, like, they could probably make, like, I don't know, just on property taxes alone on Amazon, whatever city Amazon moved to for their headquarters, the city would make, like, billions of dollars in tax revenue every year, right? Just from them being there. They'd employ all these people, then they'd all pay taxes. And Alexandria Ocasio, and so in order to get them to do that, cities compete. And you got to offer them discounts, right? That's how capitalism works. So they're offering them, like, we'll give you a $3 billion tax cut if you move here, New York says. And he goes, yeah, sure, fuck it, that's the best deal, we're taking it. And then all these idiots, like Alexandria Ocasio, Veracruz de la Hoya comes in there and she says, well, this is not right. We should not be giving rich people tax breaks. It's like, moron, they're going to be paying taxes, idiot. And then finally, Jeff Bezos is like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going to Nashville. I'm getting the fuck out of this place. Bunch of nut jobs here. And she's celebrating it today. It's like, so 25,000 people lost jobs, right? And New York City is losing all this fucking tax revenue. And she's like, yeah, look what we did. The fuck you talking about? Like, you're cheering the loss of jobs and tax revenue? And she's like, that's $3 billion that could have gone into the local economy. Bitch, that's $3 billion that doesn't exist. Don't you get it? They weren't just giving Amazon $3 billion. They were cutting the price for Amazon. Let's suppose Amazon was going to pay freaking like 5 times that amount in taxes, right? So they cut it by 20%. But now they're getting shit. Like, it's like literally we are run by fucking morons. Like, thank God they elected these fresh new faces because they are fucking morons. They're very entertaining, but it's scary to think that they run the country, right? They don't run the country, I guess. They run Congress. They run Congress to an extent. But every day they do something crazier. It's like, it's hard to make President Trump look like the normal one, but they've mastered the art of it. I don't know how. And then you get this Jussie Smollett thing. Every AOC and all these Joe Biden and all these idiots went on the record, and Kamala Harris, and they're like, these hate crimes are wrong. They never fucking learn, man. They never. Fake news, story up after fake story up. It's wonderful to see. It's absolutely fascinating. And I didn't even know the media was this fake until I got into Turtle Boy, right? I always assumed the news was somewhat legitimate, but it's really not. And that's one thing the Trump presidency has taught us, is that the news is fake as shit. Fake as shit. So, Jussie Smollett, although the police are now denying the ABC report, but that's just because the police are going to have to walk a really fine line here, right? Between, they don't want to be called racist, right? They want to, until they actually put cuffs on this guy, they're going to act like he's still the victim because they don't want to be seen as like attacking a victim of a, anti-gay, anti-black hate crime. So that is what it is. So anyway, let's see what people are saying about that. Technically, I'm not, but he's snoring next to me. Oh, nice. AOC is a gift. She really is. Happy Valentine's Day, Turtle Riders. Absolutely. Hope you guys had a nice little happy Valentine's Day together. Valentine's Day is the stupidest holiday ever. My wife and I years ago decided we're not doing it. I got her flowers today, but that's only because at like 5:30, I went to make dinner, and we didn't have any freaking, we were making quesadillas, and we didn't have wraps. So I had to go to the Big Y, which don't even get me started on Big Y. Wish we had a market basket in this town. They're talking about building one in Rutland. Hopefully. But so I go to Big Y, I get the wraps, and I see all these dudes there with flowers. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let's get some flowers. They're $9.99. Bring them home. Give them to my wife and my kids. So it's like, so we did, But it's a big scam, man. There's no bigger scam than Valentine's Day. Any woman that expects something on Valentine's Day needs to grow up. I hate to say it. Because you look at, I don't know how many days you people need. Right? Grown people. Right? You got Valentine, you got Christmas, right? Then you got your birthday. That's it. How many more days does a grown person need? Men have, right, Christmas and birthday. So what is the men's equivalent of Valentine's Day? Well, what is the day when we just get free shit? You also got Mother's Day too, right? So we all got 3. So I don't know. We don't do shit with that. I don't know if you guys do that. Flowers, yeah, that's all you can add. I mean, flowers, like, I'll get you flowers just because whatever. I mean, flowers make the house smell better, I guess. Whatever, though. I'm not getting you, like, all this fancy shit and like, going all this way. Any woman who expects that is living in a Disney movie. That's not how reality works. Sorry. Anyway. Steak and blowjob day. Ooh, that would be a nice day. Is it really? A lot of people saying March 14th is steak and BJ day. Interesting. Not in my house, but we're going to have to check up on that. All right. So that's that story. I mean, anything else? Let's go on to the next topic here. People are saying they like the Thelma and Sleaze. There's been some good blogs this week on Turtle Boy. There's been some really good entertainment. I'm biased, obviously, because I run the site, but there's just been some good content. I'm really looking forward to Live this weekend. I mean, I don't even know. Usually I pick like the top 5 funniest stories of the week. It's going to be really hard to pick this week, right? So, I mean, this Thelma and Sleaze was a good one. But the one what I like to do in this show is talk about the kind of things that wouldn't normally get onto, the live show. The live show is more about ratchet stuff, right? I want to talk about this situation, right, going on at Harvard University, because this really pisses me off, and this is bigger picture shit, right? I don't know if you guys saw or read the story. It wasn't a very big blog this week. Nobody ever reads these ones. But people appreciate these ones because it's like more, these are the kind of ones I like to write, right? They're more thoughtful pieces, right? So there's this college professor at Harvard Law School, Dean Ronald Sullivan. And this guy is a defense attorney, and I'm sure he's very wealthy. He represented Aaron Hernandez. He's done a lot of big cases and stuff like that. And he is one of the guys representing Harvey Weinstein, right? Now, obviously, Harvey Weinstein is like villain number 1 in America, especially to like women and male feminists and stuff like that, because he fucked out, he raped half of Hollywood, allegedly, or at least groped or jerked off, into a freaking flower pot in front of half of Hollywood. And, I mean, just look at him. Look at that fucking guy. Enough said. So anyway, this is Ronald Sullivan, and he's defending him, right? Now, in grown-up world, you'd understand that, like, that's what defense attorneys do, right? They defend people accused of criminal behavior. It's their job. Very important. We need that, right? It doesn't mean they like their clients or believe their clients, right? It just means that they understand that it's their job and their role to provide the accused with a defense, right? Now, why do we have that in this country? Well, it goes back to history, and I did a little history lesson in this one, right? Because all these idiots are down there now. I saw these morons down there, and I just want to, it makes me so pissed off. All these people, theatrical, like covering their mouth, saying, resign, do your job, hashtag me too, all this bullshit. Well, he is doing his job. So it goes back to back in the Revolutionary days, during the Boston Massacre, March 5th, 1770, right? Bunch of colonists were a bunch of basically douchebags. Massachusetts was the douchebag state. We were the second biggest colony population-wise after Virginia, and we were just much less sophisticated than Virginians, right? Bunch of trash holes up here, right? Just poor people, uneducated, missing teeth, no shoes on, right? Just going nowhere in life. That's what Massachusetts was made of. Bunch of assholes. The British, there's 13 colonies they had to watch over. And the only one that really gave them problems on the regular was Massachusetts. Nobody else gave them problems. They were good colonies. They paid their taxes. They did what they needed to do. Massachusetts, there was always some fucking drama going on because there's a bunch of assholes, right? So they don't like the fact that there's all these redcoats in town, right? Because they talk funny, they're sophisticated. They don't like these douchebags. So all these redcoats, and they have to sleep in their homes too, according to the Quartering Act. So they're all lining up there, right? And they're just doing whatever, and all of a sudden a freaking mob surrounds them, right? And jeers them. And then they start throwing snowballs at them, and there might be rocks in those snowballs, whatever. And the British soldiers start getting nervous, and they get a Captain Preston does not tell them to fire, right? Somebody thinks he tells them to fire. He starts firing. They all start firing. Next thing you know, 5 people are dead. Also known as the Boston Massacre, right? This is exactly like the same shit. Like we learn in schools that Boston Massacre, they were the bad guys, we were the good guys. It's not that simple, folks. It's not that simple. Like, I look at it today like with Black Lives Matter stuff, right? Like, you got these douchebags provoking cops, starting fights with cops, right? And then, I got killed by a cop. Oh, racism. No. I'm going to tell you right now, those 5 motherfuckers, they deserve to die, all 5 of them. Anybody in that mob throwing rocks at British soldiers, you got what was coming to you. I firmly believe that. I'm pro British when it comes to that. They deserve exactly what came to them. They were asking for that shit. But they also kind of wanted it because now they're like, we get to rally behind this shit. Now we get to riot, right? And they wanted heads. They wanted to hang these motherfuckers, right? And, Massachusetts, they were like, John Hancock's he was the governor of Massachusetts at the time, right? John Hancock was just a multi-millionaire who made his money off of basically he was a drug dealer, right? He was like a criminal. He would smuggle, you could only drink crappy British tea, overpriced, and this guy's like, no, I want to sell Dutch tea. Or I want to sell fucking French tea, or, whatever other kind of tea, Spanish tea. And he's like, but he had to smuggle it in there. And he would just fucking sell it and make all this money, and they didn't like him, right? And so that's why he didn't like him. But these people and Sam Adams was just a goon that would go around being like he was the guy. Imagine a mob of people, right? And then they're really mad at this British soldier. Sam Adams would be the guy behind them going, yo, he's talking shit. He's talking shit, son. He said, your mom's a hoe. What? Oh. He said, colonists ain't shit, motherfucker. Oh, he said, yo, the crown gonna fuck you up, son. That's what Sam Adams did, right? He didn't fight anyone himself, but he went around and he found white trash and he got them all riled up, right? That was his role. And he was really good at that. So people like Sam Adams would have liked to fucking hang these people. But John Adams, who was really the smartest of the bunch and hated British soldiers just as much, right? John Adams realized, we can't have a society like this, right? If we're going to revolt from England, what comes next, right? We can't just have freaking anarchy and mobs. That's not a foundation that's built to last. Like with the French had a revolution and they overthrew the monarchy. And guess what they started doing? They just started chopping heads off, right? The guillotine came around and everyone was getting their fucking head chopped off. You can't have that. And then they had a revolution after that. Well, our founding fathers were fucking brilliant, right? Because they realized that we can't let the mob run the country. We need, like, the smart people running this shit. We need a constitution. We need a Bill of Rights. We need due process, right? And so John Adams agreed to defend these people who he did not particularly care for at all. And a lot of the colonists thought, yeah, dude, you're just going to give them, like, fucking some bullshit defense, right? You're not actually going to, like, try. And he's like, 'tis my job, sir, good sir. And he goes in there and he's like, excuse me, the mob of rabble-rousers knows not about English law, kind sir. You will notice that they were well within their rights as Englishmen to defend themselves. And he's like really articulate and he gets them off, right? They all beat the charges. And he was a social pariah after that. My point being, he graduated from Harvard Law School, right? And he's like, does the unthinkable, right? Because he's a man of principle. People like him don't exist anymore, right? At Harvard Law. Harvard Law, because we've let emotions take over society instead of principles, it doesn't work that way anymore. The left is generally concerned with, and not just the left, a lot of people on the right as well. I think a lot of this stuff with like Ilhan Omar and people, you know, saying that she's anti-Semitic, it's kind of the same thing, right? It's like whining about her words being mean. It's the same shit. So we just kind of live in an emotion-fueled world these days. And very few people actually believe in principles. We've let the Sam Adams mob take over. And like it's a shame because Harvard is supposed to be the last bastion of intellectuals, right? Of wicked smart people, right? Who are supposed to be smarter than the mob and smarter than the rest of us. But they're idiots. I mean, look at these idiots. I guarantee I'm smarter than every single person in this picture. I guarantee if Jeopardy came on right now, I would beat them easily, right? Like it would get to the point when Final Jeopardy comes around where I don't have to wager anything. That's how much I would be winning against them. And by the way, I love Jeopardy. I try to get on Jeopardy every year. I'm going to get on one of these. I swear to God, I'm going to get on. Okay? I know a lot of random shit. I'm telling you people. So, anyway, it's amazing that these people come on here now and they're just telling them like, do your job. You know, I can't learn from this guy. Why not? Why can't you learn from him, white girl? Right? What are you talking about, Madeline? You know, even if he puts out an apology. Apologies for what? Doing his fucking job? The fact that he didn't even think of the impact this would have is probably the most damning element of this. The impact it was had. So he's supposed to factor in the fact that you're a fucking idiot, right? That you're so emotionally fragile and immature that you don't understand that lawyers are there to defend people who have been accused of crimes? Huh? Give me a break. Give me a break. And the professors are participating in it too. So fuck Harvard. Fuck all these people. What are people saying about this? Yeah, you like the revolutionary voice? We should do more revolutionary voices. Sam Adams drunk yelling world. Yeah, basically, Sam Adams was the world star guy. Like, he was literally the guy like, yo, you gonna take, like, does thine take that, poor peasant? Where's that? And getting them all fired up. He really was the original world star. That's a great way of putting it. Dwayne. I like that one. Will this be on the test? Yes, this will all be on the test. I'm glad you guys like the history lessons because I like talking about history. Nobody reads the This Day in History blogs, but I'm going to keep writing them anyway. Fuck it, because I like to do that. Got a bone ride Harvard Square. I know we should. Well, I've done the bone ride Harvard Square. We've done. We did Cambridge on the bone ride, so we got to bring the bone ride back in general. Yeah, don't let your kids name their kids Aiden, Jaden, Braden, or some other form of Aiden. I know, it's so true. Everybody, I was the only Aiden in the world growing up. It was like, I hated my name, right? Nobody was named Aiden. Like, nobody. And I wanted to be named Matt or Mike so bad. Like, you have no idea. Or Andy or something like that. I had to be fucking Aiden. I hate it. Now every fucking kid in the world is named Aiden. And so many kids are named Aiden that they had to come up with these offshoots like Jaden and Caden and Raiden and spell Aiden differently and all this shit. Terrible, terrible. Uncle Deeds, a wiglet for history lessons. What's a wiglet? Not sure what that is. History would be so much more fun if it was taught like you explain it. So when I taught history, I kind of taught it like this without, obviously I didn't swear, right? But I did kind of teach it like that. And that's why, I don't want to, obviously I'm biased and I'm not going to be like, I'm the greatest teacher ever. But like kids liked my class. Like I kept them engaged in it because it has to be taught in that manner. There's a lot of boring history teachers out there. And I know it's like not everybody's me, right? Not everybody is just like, has my energy and enthusiasm. It's just some people have different personalities, and that's okay too, right? I always said that when kids would be like, well, I like the way you teach it, but I don't like the way he teaches it. Well, it doesn't matter if you like the way you teach it, right? Like, it's not his job to adapt to you. You're the student. You have to adapt to him, right? It's like you need the grade. He can give you an F, and it doesn't matter to him. But you need that A to get into the college you want to get into. So get your shit together, right? Try being an Italian kid named Dwayne. Yeah, that's a good one. Related to modern times. Yeah, that's what you got to do with a lot of history is relate it to modern times. Now, man, if I was teaching during the Trump era, this would be different. This would be a whole different ballgame. I taught during the Bush and Obama years. That was easy, man. That was easy. That was back when politics was simple. Right? Like, I first started at Shepherd Hill in 2006, right? So Bush was president for a couple years there. Then Obama won. And, we would talk about elections. And the issues just then, they just weren't that contentious, right? Like, it's like, okay, there's border security. Here's how McCain feels about it. Here's how Obama feels about it. How do you feel about it? Okay, vote. We used to do this whole checklist, right? About, like, political issues. I would just give them the issues ahead of time, and they would check off what side they vote on, and then it would be a test to see if they were, conservative or liberal or who they favor more, stuff like that. But during the Trump ones, man, I'd have to be so careful with my words compared to back then. Because everybody is on edge now. Everybody. And everything you say, you never know if some kid's recording it or, there was like a good 50-50 mix at Shepherd Hill, right? Of conservative kids and liberal kids. And what if I said something that offended one of them? They're going to go home and tell mom and dad. And then I get called down again. Oh, good. Oy vey. Kind of glad I missed that, but it's so exciting. Let's be honest. This has been the longest 2 years of a presidency in American history. I can't even remember what it's like to have Obama as president. I don't even remember. I feel like it was fucking ages ago. Hasn't this been the longest 2 years? Every fucking day, there's something new. I can't even remember the latest outrage. Like, you know what's going to be interesting is the way history writes this, right? Because history is written from a perspective, and I tried to keep history as factually based as possible, right? But this is different, man, right? This presidency is going to be different. I wonder how this is going to be written. Because whoever's writing the textbook doesn't like Trump. And they're going to be, they're going to say things like, it's going to be interesting about, like, will they report in history books that hate crimes were on the rise? Which is, and then not report that so many of them are fake. That's going to be interesting to see. The Obama and Bush presidencies are pretty straightforward. They're pretty straightforward, right? What happened during those time periods. But the Trump one, it's going to be a lot of perspective, a lot of interesting things that's going to go on. We're living in like literally the most divisive, politically charged times of our lives. Let's see what else people are saying. Why do you have kind of a Connecticut accent? What's a Connecticut accent? I don't even know what that is. Talk about elections, not erections. Good idea, Maddie. I want to be a teacher. No, please don't do that. Don't say that. Don't become teachers, guys. That's all I got to say about that. No, we need teachers. We need quality teachers. But you don't understand the world that you're getting in. It's not what you think it is. Let's just say that. We need a turtle shirt that somehow incorporates the seatbelt. You got to have the seatbelt, guys. You got to freaking have the seat. You got to strap up before every show. It was those Dudley kids from Shepherd Hill. They lived too close to the Connecticut border. Yeah, in Great Turtle's Head. Right, exactly. It was pretty close to Thompson. We would always do our runs into Thompson. I took a test to see who I should vote for. It said Biden followed by Trump. That's kind of weird. Mentioned Trump and half the class melts down. Yeah, it's true. You know, it's true. 2 years has felt like a full term. It's so true. Let's see. Wait until the national emergency is cleared. Oh, good God. Not just liberals are going to flip out about that. A lot of conservatives are too. Because I tell you, it's not good, man. Not good. Wait till the Democrats come in power. Wait till you see what they can do with the national emergency. Woo-hoo. Green New Deal, national emergency. Whew, you're not going to like that. What else are people saying? You can teach us fishing and Slayer. That's true. That's true. I remember Drama's hit on the police. This is good. Can you replace VB on WRK? Who's VB? Who's VB? I don't know who that is. I read that when Andrew Jackson was elected, people thought the world was ending, kind of like Trump. So when Andrew Jackson was elected, right, he was elected in 1828. And he really should have been elected in 1824. And people were like, well, so people always whine, oh, why do we have a two-party system, right? Well, because then you're not going to have a majority. Don't you want the winner to have a majority? In 1824, in that election, 4 morons ran for president, right? And it was Andrew Jackson, John Quincy Adams, Henry Clay, and some other guy. I forget who, right? And Henry Clay got 4th. And how the rules worked back then, if you only the top 3 are allowed to get electoral votes. So whoever's 4th has to take their electoral votes and give them to whoever they want to. And so Henry Clay gave his electoral vote. So Andrew Jackson won the popular vote. He had more electoral votes than everyone else. He should have been the winner. But he didn't have a majority. He wasn't over 50% of either one. So Quincy Adams, right? Henry Clay takes all his freaking electoral votes and he's like, yo, fuck Andrew Jackson. That's what everybody said. Andrew Jackson is the closest thing we've ever seen to Trump. They literally take all his votes and say, yo, fuck that white trash piece of shit from Tennessee. He ain't becoming president. I'm going to give it to a nice distinguished gentleman like John Quincy Adams. And that basically made it so we have a two-party system essentially. And that's why we have a two-party system, because Andrew Jackson got fucked over. And so Andrew Jackson comes in, and it was like literally like white trash moves to Washington. Like some weird fucking people started moving to Washington, D.C. And Andrew Jackson was kind of gangster. Didn't give a fuck about anything. He's like defied the Supreme Court when they said that the Native Americans had a right to be in Georgia. He's like, nah, get the fuck out. Trail of Tears. See you later. And sent them on their way packing. And so they are very similar, President Jackson and Trump. But Jackson is generally regarded as a good president, so we'll see how that comes up. I like how the numbers go up when we start talking about history. That's great. What else are people saying? Brett teaches new and exciting insults. Absolutely. I haven't been on in a while. That's why turtles have shells. Half the staff melts down. What have I missed? Missed a lot of good stuff, Jose. Glad to have you back, though. The Dems would have used the national emergency anyway. Yeah, probably. Long day at work. What's up, Unc? Hey, what's up, Corey? Thanks for coming on. You know what, guys? I'm going to get me a beer. Anybody want a beer? You know what would have been better, that Elizabeth Warren thing? Instead of beer, if it was weed. Don't you think that she would have been a lot cooler? If instead... We've all seen that video, right? Where Elizabeth Warren announces she goes on Instagram. Oh, is this thing on, children? Is this thing on? Oh, hi, you. Hi. Hey. She goes, oh, excuse me one moment. I'm going to get me a beer. And she goes and gets a beer. And then her husband walks in. Oh, hi, Bruce. What are you doing here? Bitch, I live here. Oh, okay. Would you like a beer? Want a beer? Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? We don't drink beer. What are you talking about? So it would have been a lot better if, imagine she came in, she's like, I'm going to get me a blunt. Excuse me. And she came back, fucking blunt, starts ripping it. Oh. Alright, so, universal healthcare. That shit is good, son. And then Bruce walks in the door, right? And, oh, hey, honey. You want to hit this shit? This shit is the bomb. And that would have been so much better if she had just smoked weed instead of just pretending to like beer. Let's see. The problem with kids is even if they have their opinions, they don't understand the ramifications. Yeah, very true. Nobody thinks about ramifications. Nobody. What else are people saying? You can't stop the national emergency on the border. No plaintiff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even gonna. Yeah, I'll check out Will Chamberlain later. Andrew Jackson was crazy. Absolutely. Do you think the Electoral College will ever go away? God, no. Oh, God, no. The Electoral College is the best. The brilliance of the Founding Fathers cannot be understated, right? We can never get rid of the Electoral College. You know why? Those states will just leave the Union, right? Like, why would Montana or Delaware stay in the Union if they're, or Vermont for that matter? Why would they stay in the Union? What's the point? What's the point? Right? They have no voice, right? They represent a large area of land, right? They have to have a fucking voice to represent themselves. Without the Senate and the Electoral College, they do not have that voice. You have mob rule. First of all, there would be no reason for states. What would be the purpose of states were it not for an Electoral College? You tell me that. What's the purpose of that? Why would we have states? We just have one giant fucking country, right? Yeah, we're the only country that has an Electoral College because we're the only country that has fucking states. We're a collection of state governments that all come together reluctantly and have a federal government that is not supposed to be as powerful as the states, right? Every state's supposed to have this. So fuck no, they'll never get rid of the Electoral College. And I love how liberals act like they just found out about this shit too, right? They're always like, did you know that California has 30 million people and only 2 senators? And Wyoming has 500,000 people and 2 senators? Did you know that? It's like, that doesn't seem right. That's not fair. It's like, bitch, this conversation literally took place 250 years ago in Philadelphia. They sat there and they fucking debated this exact thing, and they reached a compromise. We'll have a House of Representatives and a Senate. Boom, problem solved. It's amazing how they just figured all this shit exists out now. So no, fuck no, I don't think they'll ever get rid of that. More duels than any president. We need more duels. We definitely need more duels. You got to bring duels back. I love history, whether it's sports or politics. Absolutely. Me too. Maybe we need more. Yeah, everybody's saying that. We definitely need more duels. When and why did you decide to start showing your face? It was recommended by a turtle rider, Calvin Coolidge, a couple of shows ago. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. What the fuck am I doing here? You got to show your face. You got to, right? Because the brand needs a face. The brand can't be a cartoon, right? Like, nobody's going to take you seriously if that happens. And hopefully this will be like a window or a door into getting onto new shows, right? I'm going on Mindy Robinson's show next week. Skyping into that. I'm going to go on Kyle Reyes' show very shortly. You know, you got to have video, man. Like, everybody's on YouTube has video. Like, nobody just has a fucking computer screen of, like, what they're watching. Like, that's not a show. You have to have your fucking... People want to see a human being. So that's why you have to show your face. And more than anything, I want to let people know, like, I'm not afraid to show my face. I don't give a fuck. What are you going to do? Nothing. Right? Let's see what else are people saying. How do you do, fellow humans? Any update on Ryan Waters? Great question. Well, obviously, Bristol did a fantastic vlog again yesterday. We received the reports, the VETS report and the arrest report, both of which proved that everything, not everything, but lots of things that Ryan Waters has alleged was a lie. We knew it was all a lie from the beginning with, but now we have proof, right? Unless he's suggesting that the veterinarian who examined the dog in the necropsy, is that how you say it? I think it's called a necropsy, and the police are all lying, right? They're all lying too. So maybe he's going to sue them next. Who knows? So anyway, it confirmed that he, like the vet's report, he initially said that a bookshelf kicked, right? Her fucking kidneys were like bleeding and shit. It kicked that dog fucking hard, you know, in a rage-fueled domestic incident in which he punched his freaking baby mama in the face, a woman he has never paid a dime to. She tried to not call the cops too because as victims of domestic violence frequently do, right? They were scared. And then this motherfucker could have gotten away with it, man. I had no idea who Ryan Waters was when he sued me. I didn't write that blog. I don't even remember that blog. It wasn't a particularly big blog. And he could have just walked away. right? He got away with it when she didn't testify. But then this motherfucker got greedy and he tried suing. So now we open it all up again. And I hope to God. So I'm trying to contact, and you guys should too, contact, even though I'm not a big fan, Cheryl Fiandaca over at WCVB, right? Because this is the kind of story the mainstream media should be covering. A guy, I mean, think of the story involved in this. Guy kills dog and assaults woman in the era of Me Too and Michael Vick. And then, after the charges are dropped, because for some reason, this woman has to testify and it's scary to do that, she should be able to just, have an affidavit be entered into evidence when you think about it. And instead of doing that, he gets not guilty, or he doesn't get not guilty. The charges are dropped, and then he has the right somehow to sue the blog that exposed him for being an animal, and the woman who he assaulted, who he now gets to use the courts to further victimize her and try to silence free speech of a blog that exposed him for being a piece of shit. Right? That's a story, man. That's a story that every media outlet should be telling, if they cared. But they don't, right? They can't acknowledge, right, that we break important news. And they should, because that's an important story. If they actually cared about women and animals, right, that they would be covering this story. But we'll see. Honestly, try to contact Cheryl Fiandaca. We've shit on her a lot, but she can redeem herself by, doing a story on this. Let's see. Why do the Portuguese like history? I'm not sure. The Portuguese even involved in any wars? I don't even know. What else are people saying? Ryan update. The blunt would have been better. Absolutely. The less states, the better. I was a Republican elector for Trump. Oh, interesting. Hillary won. Oh, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, plenty of people voted for... You don't hear any conservatives in Massachusetts whining, do you, about the system, about gerrymandering? We even had a Republican congressman elected in the state since 1996. Right? And you don't hear us whining about gerrymandering. You don't hear us whining that Worcester is in the same district as Northampton, which makes no fucking sense at all. You don't hear us whining that the most conservative county in Massachusetts, which is Worcester County, is divided up into 3 congressional districts so that conservatives can never elect anyone out of here. We don't whine about that, do we? Because that's just the way the game's played. Even challenged ever. So does that suggest that Massachusetts has no conservatives? Of course they do. Well, where's their representation? They have none. But guess what? That's just the way it fucking works. Oh well. Get over it. Anyway, Uncle Turtle, if the small states vote to leave, does the other states have to vote on that? It's a great question. Great question. I don't know how that works. I don't know if that would result in civil war. I don't think you can just leave the Union. I don't know how that works. But it would be interesting. You wouldn't want to see it. You wouldn't want to see it. Let's see. Where's Silent Cal? Yeah, Silent Cal is missing a great episode tonight. If you had to bang one, Kamala Harris or AOC? That is the question of the night right there. Ooh, that's interesting. Would it be bad if I said Kamala Harris, even though she's probably, 25? How old is Kamala Harris? 45? Kamala Harris is less annoying than AOC. And AOC is prettier, I guess, and younger. But I can't get over the teeth, man. I can't get over the teeth. I couldn't do it. So that's a great question, Charlie. I would probably go with Kamala Harris, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's see, what else are people saying? Come to CPAC in Maryland with us, discuss social media. I'd love to come to CPAC sometime to do like some speaking, Charlie. Message me afterwards. We'll figure some out. I'm definitely looking to do some speaking, for sure. Get my name on the map, Get the face out there. What else are people saying? Your bloggers don't get enough credit. They are the shit. Yeah, they're very funny people, man. I recruit people. Read the book and learn about how I recruited some of these people. I get a lot of them from the commenters, right? I get a lot of them from the commenters. They're very funny and witty people. Yeah, Bristol is very, honestly, probably my best serious writer, right? That writes like really sharp lady. I feel like she could write a fucking book. Really, really nice addition to the Turtle Boy staff, if you will. Kamal is probably an animal in the sack. Yeah, probably. Terrible read. I got so mad reading that. I honestly think I've had run-ins with Ryan in high school. Yeah, probably would not surprise me at all. Let's see. He'll be on an episode of Snap. Michael Vick said he was sorry, and I believe him. I mean, I guess I forgive Michael Vick. I mean, Michael Vick served his time. It is what it is. That's how law and order works in this country. You get a sentence, you serve it, and you're even after that, you know? After David. Yeah, excuse me, guys. I apologize. It's pronounced after David. Does Kamala have a hairy box? Doubtful. She's from California. Vic, once an animal abuser, always an animal. I mean, I don't know if I believe that. Have more people recognize you and approach you in public? No one ever approaches me in public. I kind of wish they did. I'd like to strike up some conversations with people, talk about life. Maybe people recognize me. I don't know. Especially if the flyer went out in town. You know, I go to Big Y and I'm like looking around like, probably everyone here right now got this fucking flyer in the mail. But you know what? I think a lot of people looked at that flyer and they're like, feel bad for the dude. Feel bad for the dude. Let's see. Is gerrymandering related to After David? Yeah, exactly. I whine about gerrymandering. Milford is the district with Newton, Brookline, and that's fucking insane. That is insane. So you're in Joe Kennedy's district? Is that right, then? That is like the Joe Kennedy district is the most insane one I've seen in Massachusetts. It literally goes from Fall River at the bottom, somehow winds in a slow, like skinny line that avoids Brockton. And because they want Brockton in another district. They try to split up the big Democratic strongholds to make sure only Democrats get elected, right? And so they're going to connect Milford, because Milford is a more conservative town than, it's not completely conservative, but compared to others of its size, it is. And so they're going to want to put all the conservative ones in with Fall River and Newton, because then they'll be outnumbered. I love when they act. I could do a whole freaking podcast just on gerrymandering, what a crack of shit gerrymandering is, right? Let's see. Did you read the article about the girl from Palmer that stabbed her father? I think we have someone on that. Let's see. Rampant voter fraud is a huge problem. I disagree with that. I don't think rampant voter fraud is a huge problem. I think both voter fraud and voter suppression are myths. I think voter fraud is possible, but I don't think it swings elections. I've voted more than once in elections. I'll freely admit it right now. Arrest me. Arrest me, feds. Because as long as there's no ID and I got some time to kill, if I go in there and, one of my siblings hasn't voted yet, or I know that they're not going to vote because they're out of town, fuck it. Yeah, I'll vote. I don't care. So yeah, but how many people honestly do that? I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that it rapidly swings elections. It's definitely possible. Don't get me wrong, but whatever. I still think you should show ID to vote. Kamala is the correct answer. Thank you. I knew I got the right answer. Kamala seems like she has big soft butt cheeks. I could picture that. Fuck, marry, kill, Kamala, AOC. You can't put Pocahontas in there. It's got to be someone younger, right? It's got to be someone younger. Who would be a young liberal woman that you could throw in there? Because obviously you'd kill Liz Warren, no doubt about it. Everybody knows that. I would probably marry Kamala Harris, right? If I had to pick one of those three. Because, I don't know, she seems, even though I don't agree with her, I think she's, kind of a bitch sometimes. She seems the most normal of them all. I don't know. Bristol should write the next Turtle book. Absolutely. Her and I are actually talking about writing a book together. But we'll talk more about that another time. Let's see. I'm curious how Warren would sound getting pounded. I'm not. Now I'm going to puke and I will never be able to sleep again. There's no coming back from what Vic did. Guy's a psychopath. Maybe so. Let's see. What else are people saying? You'll be recognized at the Big E this year. Don't go. It's too much abuse. Luckily, the Big E is a national event. So whatever. Hopefully, I never have to go to the Big E event again anyway. So that would be great. Let's see. I'm in the JFK 3 district, exactly. He wants Ed Markey Senate seat. That's interesting. Ed Markey. This motherfucker with his Green New Deal, right? He proposes it. It's a big joke. And then Mitch McConnell, Cocaine Mitch, comes in. He's like, we're gonna vote on a bill. I'd like to vote on this Green New Deal. this is I think we should vote on this Green New Deal. I'm really excited about it. Okay. It was the ultimate troll job because he knows that it ain't going to pass. And he just wants to have these people on record. And then Ed Markey's like, no, we are not going to do this. This is a trick. It's like, bitch, it's your bill. The fuck are you talking about? Oh, good God. Don't even get me started on that. Yeah, gerrymandering started in Massachusetts. It's named after the former governor of Massachusetts, Eldridge Gerry. It's another lesson we could do. Last couple questions here before we call it a night. Didn't you prove that voter fraud is possible? It's definitely possible, and I've done it before, right? And I've done it before. But I'm just not convinced that it swings elections, right? What election has it really swung, right? That has been so close that fraudulent votes are the reason that somebody won. I have no doubt it happens, right? But I just don't think it's wide scale enough that it's swung an election. But it could. It definitely could. Let's see. Anything else? Nikki Haley. Oh God, Nikki Haley. Okay. Marry, fuck, kill. If we're doing marry, fuck, kill with Nikki Haley, obviously I'm marrying Nikki Haley. Like, obviously. And then I'm killing AOC and I'm banging Kamala Harris. End of story, right? I think we'd all agree on that. But, who wouldn't want to marry Nikki Haley? Who wouldn't? She's awesome. Tulsi Gabbard would be an interesting one to throw in there, too. Throw in Alyssa Milano. Can you marry, fuck, and kill Alyssa Milano? I don't know. Let's see. Bristol is gold. She jumped right in the Uxbridge group. Yeah, she killed that. Yeah. Unca's driving again. Nice. Is they actually going to vote on the Green New Deal? We'll see. Let's see. Last couple things here. Total Riot should all go on the same day. Beers at the Delaney tent. Oh, yeah. Who was the more insane Mass Senator, Markey or Pocahontas? Oh, obviously Pocahontas. I didn't even know what Markey sounded like until the Green New Deal came along. Guy's just a freak show looking dude, huh? Whew. Creepy looking guy. Unc, would you bang AOC? I guess. I feel like we all would, right? If you just met her at the bar, at the Blarney one night, and you were wasted, and you had no idea, like, what she was all about, and you're like, hey, baby, let me give you that Alaskan pipeline, you've been talking about. Something like that, if she was begging for it. I guess, who wouldn't, right? We all agree. I think you all would. Unc has a big crush on Nikki Haley. Who doesn't? Who doesn't have a crush on Nikki Haley? She's beautiful. She's smart. She's a great leader. She's awesome. She's the best politician I've seen in a long time. Anything else here? Skip the marriage part, yeah. Man, there's a lot of action going on here. Yeah, where are AOC's photos of boyfriends in her past? That's a great question, Somerville Bob. I haven't even thought of that. How come that hasn't come out, right? This chick was a bartender. Let's not forget that. If you are a bartender in New York City, you're getting plowed on the regular, especially if you're a liberal bartender, right? Like, you're getting plowed on the regular. I'm surprised. That's a great question. I'm surprised more guys haven't come out and been like, I hit that. I never even thought of it that way because she's young. Like, she was probably getting plowed like last weekend. Although I think she has like a boyfriend now or something, right? Yeah. So that's interesting. She's dating a computer programmer. Oh, that sounds terrible. All right. Why don't we call it a night there? This has been a lot longer than I thought it, but we had a nice talk. When is the show with Brett? Saturday night? Yeah, basically a bartender. She's basically Jen Duso, right? And we know Jen Duso likes to get railed. We all know that. God, I'd actually love to know. Now I'm kind of curious. Now I'm going to think about that for a long time. But that was a great question of the night. Marry, fuck, kill, Nikki Haley. I feel like you got to do a liberal, though, to be fair, Charlie. Because obviously you're going to pick Nikki Haley to marry because she's awesome. But you got to pick 3 liberal women. And they have to be somewhat bangable. Like, they can't be Pocahontas because that's not fair. Think of a third somewhat annoying liberal woman who you'd throw in that list. Maybe someone local, right? Does anybody know any good local liberal women in their 40s? That would be ideal. Oh, how about this for Mary Fuck Kill? Oh, I got a good one. Kamala Harris, AOC, and Kristen Sinema, the sassy cup of tea from Arizona, who is fucking hot. Like, I don't care. Kristen Sinema is hot, man. That would be a really interesting one. Kristen Sinema, AOC, Kamala Harris, Rachel Maddow. Come on, give me a break. Yeah, if this was Mary Fuck Scissor, maybe. Yeah. All right. Anyway, folks, I can't talk about this much more. That's going to get me in trouble. We will be on Saturday night for live. Remember, this podcast brought to you by good friends over at Garage Doors Plus. Please, if you like what we're doing, get something from the Turtle Boy store, or hit up the donation button, whatever you can. We also have a $10. You'll notice I no longer have ads. Like on my program, it's so much better without ads. I'm telling you, no pop-ups, nothing. You go right here to like pick a blog. I go to the blog here, and Fupa computer, your computer's probably faster. But you don't get at the top that whole like Rev content thing, and then you start reading it, there's no pop-up, and then you go right to the bottom, and in between the content and the comments, there's nothing. Just right there. Immediately jumps in. So definitely, you can buy that in the Turtle Boy store. No ads. I promise you, it's worth it. All right, folks. I'll see you on Saturday night. Peace to your bum crease.